Hello and welcome everyone to Sharm el-Sheikh, where we've just had two eventful weeks of climate talks at COP27. This sun-drenched Egyptian town, located between the deserts of the Sinai Peninsula and the Red Sea, is well known for its sandy beaches, its clear, warm waters, and its amazing coral reefs. The underwater ecosystem here is home to many types of coral and more than 1,200 species of fish. Such reefs are often referred to as the rainforests of our oceans, and for good reason. But they're under threat here and everywhere else. Rising sea temperatures are causing catastrophic bleaching. In fact, global warming has wiped out 14% of the world's coral reefs in just one decade, that according to the biggest study of its kind. Little wonder then that the Egyptian COP27 presidency helped join the dots on climate change and biodiversity this month and launched the Red Sea Initiative with the United States. Reuters has covered all the news from COP27 extensively, including details of the Egyptian presidency's ENACT initiative to coordinate efforts to combat climate change and biodiversity loss through nature-based solutions. The conference itself has played host to some 35,000 delegates from nearly 200 countries and 3,000 journalists. While free shuttle buses and helpful staff have kept the crowds moving, elements of the sights in the desert have felt somewhat temporary and make-do. But a walk through the Blue Zone was never short on inspiration, with representatives from an array of countries and more than 70 partner organizations looking to connect. Given the very real geopolitical tensions going into COP27, including fears around Egypt's reported history of suppressing protests, there have been vocal demonstrations here. So what's really changed since Glasgow last year, apart from an abundance of palm trees and a hotter planet? Well, the concept of loss and damage has been raised here for the first time, although not as substantively as many would have liked. Reuters reported the arrival of a proactive US President Joe Biden and the welcome return to full engagement by the US. President Biden made many welcome commitments and cited new research that confirmed the past 8 years have been the warmest on record. The global mean temperature currently sits at 1.15 degrees above pre-industrial levels. We should expect far worse climate disasters to come as we edge ever closer to that 1.5 degrees red line. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres unveiled plans to ensure everyone is protected by early warning systems within the next 5 years, with $3.1 billion of investment. Farming is on the front line of the climate emergency, and for the first time in COP history, a whole day was dedicated to it. How food gets from farm to fork has never been higher on the agenda, and at COP27 we saw the launch of the new FAST initiative that aims to improve financing for agriculture and food systems by 2030. Several food innovators at COP27 showcased solutions from vertical farming to dealing with food waste and lab-grown meat. A US-UAE-led initiative pledged $8 billion into greener farming R&D. Brazil's returning president, Luiz da Silva, received a superstar welcome to chants of Lula as he pledged to better protect the Amazon and achieve zero deforestation by the end of the decade. Lula also put Brazil forward to host COP30 in 2025, placing the South American country at the very heart of climate politics. Brazil is back, he declared. Big business was also back. Last year's COP26 in Glasgow was the first time the COP presidency had formally invited businesses and financial institutions. More contentious was the presence of the fossil fuel companies, who this year sent 636 representatives. That is 100 more than we saw in Glasgow. Activists may not like it, but collaboration is key, and it'll take a big tent to achieve a successful global energy transition at scale. There's no hiding that Putin's invasion of Ukraine has put major pressure on global energy security, along with soaring inflation and cost of living challenges. But the convergence between big business and climate goals is growing. As well as covering news from COP in words, pictures and videos, Reuters also hosted important sessions in partnership with the UN around the role of big business in climate talks and how best they can work alongside NGOs and governments. Having Egypt as host, of course, focused the attention of the energy transition here in Africa, where, despite an abundance of natural resources, investment in renewable energy hit an 11-year low last year. Reuters reported Egypt is close to signing agreements to build 2 wind and solar projects with combined capacity of 1 gigawatt, a major boost to its renewable power development. Whether COP27 achieved the mantle of the implementation COP will continue to be debated. After 2 weeks in the desert, there's been much discussed and much left on the table. But the inclusion of the first loss and damage initiative to help provide finance where needed was a major win, as was keeping the 1.5 degree limit alive. So, reasons for optimism for sure. But looking out across the Red Sea, I'm mindful that we all need to be braced for another difficult year of climate challenges ahead.